Well, hello again, football fans. We're all the way up to week 9 of the football season. Things are starting to shake out. We're going to get to the big 1 versus 2 matchup in a little bit in the prop box. We're going to get to the full game schedule in a little bit. Chuck's going to come in and give his take on the 1 versus 2. But first, let's take a little bit of a closer look at that Wallace-Rose Hill Pender game in Burgaw this week. Wallace-Rose Hill was the 1A state champions a season ago, but it almost wasn't. The reason was rival Pender, who seemed to have last year's game won before the Bulldogs scored with 1 minute and 8 seconds to play and escaped with a 27-26 victory. Pender was able to build 3 separate leads in that game in the dog pound, with the help of now departed Hynef Collins, but also returners Josh Johnson and J.D. Powell. Wallace-Rose Hill was able to stay in it with now junior running back Omar Carr. So much of the talent from last year's game is back for the 2010 edition of the rivalry, and so much is again on the line. The Bulldogs have that title target on their back to go along with a 19-game winning streak, something head coach Joey Price says his team embraces.
Kids are used to being in that kind of atmosphere, so they like it and they relish to being a team to beat when they walk out there. That makes every game a big game for them.
Pender has won 17 of their last 18 regular season games dating back to 2008, with their only hiccup in that span coming at Wallace-Rose Hill last season. The Bulldogs have in fact won 4 of the last 6 meetings between the two schools, including 2 of the last 3 played in Burgaw. The teams are relatively even on paper as well. Pender is scoring better than 39 points per game while giving up less than 13. The Bulldogs, meanwhile, are scoring more than 43 points per game and surrendering less than 12. There are few guarantees in sports, but it is guaranteed that the winner of this game will have an inside track in the Tri-County Conference, with Union lurking closely behind. The other guarantee this week is that there will be a lot of fans from both sides interested in the outcome in Burgaw on Friday night.
Well, like you said, the numbers for this thing are just off the chart. There are so many big things going on with this one. Make sure you show up early. They are opening the gates 2 hours early Friday night at Pender, 5:30 p.m. opening of the gates. If you want to get there at 5:30 a.m., they'll probably let you in though. But now we're on to the prop box. Remember, 8 games we pick every week at starnewsvarsity.com. You can go on and make your selections and then compare them to us on the staff. 3 games we won't tell you about here on the show. You'll have to go online to see our choices there. That's East Bladen at West Bladen, Lakewood at James Keenan, and Hobson at Trask. But now, on to the box, man. Game 1, Mid-Eastern Conference, 2 teams with some tough losses last week. It's New Hanover at Ashley.
New Hanover's lost 2 in a row, but to 2 really good teams. They lost to Richmond, they lost to New Bern. They've also beat Ashley every year since 2004. That's 5 straight. I don't see any reason why that doesn't continue. I'm going to take New Hanover.
All right, so he's taking New Hanover over Ashley. Expect a little low-scoring one there, I would imagine, at this point. Game 2, also in the Mid-Eastern. You've got Rose, traditional power, against Laney. Big win last week against Hoggard. That game is in Greenville.
Mike Sheehan, 237 and 3 touches last week. 436 the week before and 4 touches. Tevin Clay and Ernest Andrews have combined for 7 of the team's last 10 touchdowns, all through the air. I gotta like Laney. I gotta like how that offense is rolling. I'm going with Laney one more time.
It's really amazing. At the beginning of the year, we were all wondering, can Laney win multiple games off of a season where they couldn't win at all? And now we're looking at 7, 8, possibly 9 wins for that team. Huge turnaround up on the north side. We'll jump over to the Waccamaw now. Desperate North Brunswick team. They've lost 2 in a row against a high-flying South Columbus team. Needed 4 days for its last win, but the Stallions are still undefeated.
Right, and you worry about a little bit of a hangover with South Columbus, with having to stretch the weekend, having to travel twice for 1 game. You know, you never know. But they did come up with a win. North Brunswick has kind of derailed a little bit offensively, and I really like South Columbus. I think they're for real, and I think they have a ways to go still.
And I think the one thing that everybody forgets, last year this game was bizarre. North Brunswick won on a disputed play in overtime where a fumble was turned into the winning points. It kind of just jacked South Columbus's whole season from there. They really lost it at that point. I think they're going to be mad, and I think they're going to come out and pound them, really, and that's not a good spot for North Brunswick to be at this point. Staying in the Waccamaw, intriguing game here. Whiteville 3-3 busted a 3-game losing streak last week. They play at West Brunswick.
West Brunswick is a team that's really searching for an identity right now. They're moving just about everybody around on that offense. Quan Bates, Taylor Buffkin. They're all just trying to find spots to be most effective offensively. Whiteville's coming off a bye on this one. They get that extra week to prepare. I got to take the maracas that we have. That we love so much.
I like the maracas. I'm going to shake one of those too. So.
And we'll go with Whiteville on that one.
I agree with you there. They're really starting to figure it out too. And then the game, Wallace-Rose Hill at Pender.
I've laid down a lot of stats for you already.
I like this one.
Pender, 17 out of 18 regular season games. Their last loss, though, was to Wallace-Rose Hill. And I see no reason why the offense at Wallace-Rose Hill can't just continue. Omar Carr, I like Wallace. It's going to be a close one, like it was last year. I like Wallace to win.
Wow. I think I grabbed the Pender helmet for a reason. I like Pender. I don't know why.
Wow, okay.
I really do. I think this is finally the time. This is we've talked a lot this year about teams taking the next step. Pender is at the top of that list. I really think this is their moment. Everything's in their favor. The game's at home. They've played great. There's no reason not to pick them.
Well, Dan's got one opinion. I got one opinion. Let's send it over to Chuck, who was actually at both practices this week. He's got an insight on just about everyone. Listen to this.
Gotta admit, I circled this on my calendar when I knew these teams were going to be playing, because this is the game of the year as far as I'm concerned, and perhaps it's maybe the game of the year in the entire state. Wallace-Rose Hill seems to be handling things very, very well. I didn't get the sense they were too high or too low going into this game. Pender seemed to be really jacked up, and the game, to me, is going to boil down to which team makes the most big plays. Both have explosive players on offense. Wallace-Rose Hill is the defending state champions, and if you see them play, or even practice for that matter, you can see why. They're big, strong, they're fast. Wallace-Rose Hill is very big and strong down there, and they have a good offensive line. I know, talking with head coach Joey Price, he really likes his offensive line. Tom Eanes likes his ball club, his big play people. He has a quarterback in Shaq Hooper, who has really, really come on and played extremely well. And each team has somebody trying to run the scout team to prepare them for the two quarterbacks and the offenses they're going to encounter. And they both came away sort of shaking their heads as if you can't imitate what these two teams tried to do on the field.
Hey, thanks, Chuck. It sounds like it's going to be a good one. I know I'm going to be there. We're going to have it completely covered wall to wall, so be sure to check it out. Right now, let's get into the rest of the games on the schedule. There's still more to be played other than that one. In the Mid-Eastern, New Hanover at Ashford, like we talked about in the prop box. Laney at Rose, and also Hoggard at New Bern with that one. New Bern looking to stay undefeated there. Waccamaw, East Bladen at West Bladen. North Brunswick at South Columbus. South Columbus continues to roll after pulling off a win that took 2 nights on Monday, Dan.
Yeah, that was a long one, but it's here and finished, and South Columbus still perfect.
And Whiteville will be at West Brunswick, also in the Waccamaw. Over in the Tri-County, Lakewood at James Keenan. Hopton will be at Trask. The Wallace-Rose Hill Pender game, obviously, as we've discussed in depth. Union at Midway. Union is still challenging Pender in that conference, so if Union can keep winning, they'll keep the pressure on there. Red Springs at East Columbus. That's a first-place East Columbus team. West Columbus at Fairmont. East Duplin at South Lenoir in the East Central. And Topsail at Richlands. We'll be sure to check out all of our Friday Night Varsity flashback coverage on Friday night. We're going to have obviously the 1 versus 2, but we're going to have more than just that. Be sure to check the website, starnewsvarsity.com, for all your prep needs, for all your stats, standings, highlights, whatever you need. Till then, that's us for Wednesday. Check us out Friday. Check it out, guys.